What a good boy. Beautiful Australian Sunday. Sun's just coming up over the roof. Oh, there's a wispy cloud. There he is. So let's get some work done. Hi, welcome back. I'm Baz. This is I Sharpen, and today I'm going to be sharpening some chisels. I've got a set of Japanese knives over there. I've got a buck knife, and I've got 2 packages from subscribers who sent their knives in to me from afar to sharpen for them, send them back. Mail order sharpening, so that's a good thing. The black stone is smooth and straight. I'm going to change the water, and we're going to get straight into it. So if you haven't sharpened chisels on a Tormek, or you're wondering how it's done, I've got you covered. Woof. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to put on my my neck. What's up, bro? I'm going to put on my neck mount. I'm going to bring it over to the bench and see how I start off preparing these chisels for a sharpen. So, how do we sharpen chisels on the Tormek? Well, we use the SE77 straight plain chisel jig thing. Yep. This way, SE77, and can you see that shoulder there? Right, that shoulder there, the chisel basically slots in and hits up against there, and that keeps it straight. But we've got these 2 knobs here that also adjust the angle of the dangle and allows you to make fine adjustments, and we will be doing that as well. So everything you need to know about sharpening chisels on a Tormek is coming up. Okay, so let's have a look at our chisels. We've got 2, 4, 6, 7 of them to sharpen today, and you're going to watch them all. So the chisel, first of all, has to be flat on the back. So I've got a little 1000 diamond plate here, and just making sure that they are flat on the back. I'll just rub it gently on there, just as long as there's nothing on the top here sort of, you know, bothering it. So let's have a look at this one. This one's got some burr. Alright, so that needs to be taken off. Ooh, that's a bit rough for that. So what I'm going to do is going to grab my 80 plate. 80. Should be a 320 really, but the 80 will do. Just take that burr off. There you go. And then we'll finish up on the 1000. Pressing down on here to keep it flat. It's handy that it's raised up on the foam so that it doesn't hit the, my knuckles don't hit the board, so try and do that if you can. And that's nice and shiny there. Oh, there you go. Right, so that's ready. And we'll just do it to all of them. This one is kind of rounded off there, you can see. But just to make sure that it's flat. Actually, you know what? I think what I'm going to use is my fantastically organised bench. Where is it? Oh, I'm looking for a 320 plate. Oh, you know what? Why don't we use the one that I use for grinding the grading the plate. You can see that it's got a bit of a wear pattern in the middle, so I'm going to try and get that wear pattern all the way across. Nearly there. Nearly there. I'm there on this side, nearly there on that side. You could do this on sandpaper, I suppose. That's probably good enough. Finish it on the 1000. What's up, Chili? So pardon the bumpy camera. The wide angle should help. There you go. That's good enough. Let's have a look at this one. Oh, this one's already been done. So you can see the carpenters are doing this anyway. Probably on a stone, I imagine. Okay, we can see that it's a little bit in the middle. I'll have to bring that down. I'll just try the 80 to bring it down quickly. And we're getting there. Low spot on the left and right. We're there on the right. Need a little bit more. We're technically there on the edge, but I may bring that edge back a bit. So let's make sure. You don't go too fast because you end up rocking it if you go too fast. Just do purposeful strokes, especially on the thinner ones, because you tend to roll them. A little bit on the left, on the right, I mean. That's probably good enough. Let's give it a shine. Probably went a bit too fast, so we'll finish on the 320 between the 80. Good enough. I've got a bit of an edge on there anyway. You can see how this one's been rounded off. I don't know if you can see that. See? That should be one straight flat facet. We'll fix that in a minute. This one looks pretty good, so we'll go straight onto the 1000. A little bit in the middle. Might have to bring that down a little bit on the 320. Oh, it's got a fair bit to go, so I might just start it on the 80. Now, I'm not a super professional on this, so if I'm doing it wrong, please let me know. And if your chisels are extremely expensive, not Japanese style, then please refer to people who are used to doing those. A little bit more on the left, on the right here, on the right facing down. Where do I get these plates from? eBay Australia. Just look up diamond sharpening plates and get the ones with the black foam on the back. And that goes just as much for the, well, these are exactly the ones that I use grading. There you go, that's done. The Tormek wheels. Under the 320. I'm running over the rusty bits, but that doesn't matter that much, I don't think. As long as it's reasonably flat. There you go, that's nice. Finish up on the 1000, get some shine onto it. Doesn't have to be a mirror. I've done mirror polishing on the chisels before, but in this case it's not super essential. It's just nice. And these are working chisels, they're not display chisels. There you go, good enough. Let's have a look on this one. This one looks not too bad. So it's got one facet. The benefit of these movies is that the client themselves can see how I'm sharpening and why I charge just a little bit more. You can see we're shining on the left and right, but not in the middle. Now, I don't know if this makes a huge difference when you're chiseling out door strikers and things, but I'm going to presume it does. What's making that noise? Could be anything. Starting to get to the top. If this takes too long, I might have to go to the 320. Yeah, I might have to go to the 320, I think, just to bring it down a bit quicker. There you go. Finish on the 1000. And often these are hollow in the back so that you can get a nice little semicircular. I think that's nearly there. Good enough. Let's have a look at this one. This one looks like it's been done before. We'll try it on this. Okay, that's got a look, you know, on the site, on site in the field, people do whatever they have to do to get some sharpness back. But I'm going to get these slicing paper, hopefully, so that on Monday, tomorrow, I can have a very pleasurable experience chiseling. Makes a huge difference. Just like sharp knives make a difference to a chef, sharp chisels obviously make a difference. Okay, this is interesting. We've got a low spot there, so I might have to take these down on the 320. There you go, that's better. Could possibly be a slightly low spot there on the right. I think that's probably good enough. Okay, so the next thing I do is I get my marker out and I mark the back. Now, why do I do that? You just let that dry. I do that so that I can mark a square line on the back so I know if I'm going straight or not. Ooh, I'm running out of marker. I should have cleaned these a bit with alcohol. I'll just give it a quick spritz. I really appreciate you watching. It helps me make a little bit of extra money. And as I've said many times, I'm getting around about $6 or $6.50 per 1,000 views. I'm sorry this camera's not super stable, but I'm trying my best. Alright, let me give them a wipe. Alright, now let's see if that helps. Now I think the marker's finished, or it needs to find a new life. Sometimes they do. That's good. You'll see in a minute why I do this. If you don't know already, a lot of you do. Just get a little square. I'll scribe a line just under the current edge, so I know as I'm grinding down to it whether or not I'm square or Yep. It's pretty important that these are, you know, square. Come on, baby. I had an actual Tormek marker here somewhere that I got in the kit. Don't know where it's gone. Let me try the old Sharpie. Rumour has it that the reason these are called Sharpies is because they're used for exactly this purpose, marking sharp instruments. They stick to the metal. Is that true? Or is that utter bullshit? You tell me. It's not very dark. Come on. Let's try another Sharpie. There you go. That one's fine. That one's fine. Okay. This one. Yep. Oh well, it's a little bit dark, a bit patchy, cloudy. Alright. So next step is I grab my trusty scriber and the little square, which hopefully is square, and I come up here and draw a square line as close to the tip as possible, because we're not going to be grinding the whole thing away. We just want it to be near the top. Then we scribe a line. You can see that line there. That's where we're going to either be grinding down to or measuring the squareness from. So it doesn't have to go all the way down to the line. Sometimes the line can still be there. We just use it to know whether we're going straight or not. See that? Now sometimes it's a bit tricky. See, this one's very short, so we can't do it. Oh, that's a bit of a shame. Well, can I do it underneath, I wonder? Oh, that might be a bit tricky. I'm going to try. Did I manage? I did. Now you don't need to see this, but this is my work day, so you may as well watch. If you want to watch me work, this is me working. And it's not work in the traditional sense. Work, when I use the word work, I use it to refer to something that I'm doing just to earn money that I would rather not do. So when you say retirement, retirement doesn't mean that you're going to stop working. It just means that you're going to stop working on stuff you don't want to do for someone else just for money. I used to lecture on this topic. The big test for work is, would you do it for free? Yes, I would do this for free. If I didn't need the money, I absolutely would, because I want to retire and become wealthy so that I can just play in my shed. I don't need yachts or Lamborghinis or anything like that. Now this one is a very crooked little old chisel, so I'm going to come down a little bit. And draw a line there. All right. Now we're going to go back to the normal camera mount, so enough shakiness, and we're going to start grinding. Okay, so you can of course do it on the US 430, but I'll take that off, and I'm going to use just the regular bar, and we're going to put the SE77 on. And just lean it over. Now this regular bar's got a hole in here that you can screw a knob in. I think it's one of the smaller ones, but it should fit. All the Tormek knobs should fit in there, and it stops you from coming off, right? Coming out off the wheel and all that, because we're going to be doing a lot of this. Now I don't use that because sometimes I take the jig off so that I can have a look at the chisel, right? So I'm going to leave that off, but just so you know. All right, so how do we mount the chisel? Let's go from largest to smallest today. Let's just arrange those. Okay, because the larger ones are going to take a long time. I'll call that my meat, and the smaller ones are the pudding, because, you know, how can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat? The way you mount this is very simple. You slide the chisel in, right, and then what I do is, hang on, let me change the camera. So we'll do that again. Right, see that shoulder there? We slide the chisel in. Just undo those a little bit, make sure I've got room. Slide the chisel in, probably a fair way, right? I don't know whether or not, you see this one's kind of stopping there for I'm not sure what reason, could be dirty. So a fair way. And you slide it up, and the way I do that is I just hold it up like that and let the jig hang down by gravity up onto that shoulder. Right, and then we tighten this, or we bring this in as close as possible. We tighten them both. Right, and these knobs here are used, so you loosen one, you lock them in, and as you move, it sort of, I'll show you on the jig, but as you move this around, it kind of tilts the jig and makes it, there you go, see, and it makes it, believe it or not, it makes it square or angled on the wheel. I'll show you in a minute. So we pop that in, and if you want to copy that existing angle, then you put a marker on the surface and you pull the wheel, but I'm going to make them all 25 degrees. But I'll show you what that looks like anyway. So you mark the wheel. And it's handy to mark the wheel anyway, actually, because it shows you where you're wearing, where you're grinding. So I'm going to do that to all of them. I just remembered, yes. And you pop it on there, and you just pull the wheel manually, and you'll see, I'll bring it out, that we are contacting, we're way too high, and we're touching only on this side. So another method that I use, it's not highly accurate because I drop the chisel down and align it with the side of the wheel. But that presumes that the face of the wheel is completely straight. It's best if if the face is completely straight to the wheel. And I suppose we could always check it. I've got a little bit of a lean. That's not entirely essential to be completely flat, although it's very useful, because every time you flatten it, you lose stone. Losing stone means losing dollars. Right, because I'm going to be moving it, right, left and right, and so it's going to be sort of, the whole thing's going to be ground. So we need to drop that down until we get a better face. It sounds different when you're on the face. And this is just like a starting point. So now we're too much on the back, so we'll lift it up a bit. And let's check with the gauge. We'll drop this down 1 mil. And on the gauge, we're going to set that to 25. Right. And then as simple as just popping that up on there. And I'm fairly accurate, but I'm going to just drop it a little bit more because you don't know whether they were, whether it's been ground correctly before or not. And so I want to make sure that it is this time. And you can see that I'm on the back. Right, that was the last grinding mark there, just there and there. So make sure everything's tight, and I'll adjust the grinding as I go along to match the straight, the 90-degree line that we've got on the back by adjusting these knobs here. Oh, by the way, that knob there is the one that I should have used. It just comes off. It's not really doing anything. And that goes on there, on the end. Pretty cool, eh? Comes with its own little knob for stop, as a stop. Because if you come off the stone, it's pretty devastating to the grind. Now, because I adjusted these knobs to demonstrate how it works, the jig may not be. So basically, it lifts the jig up and down and sort of moves, tends to sort of spin it around a bit, so that the chisel is sort of contacting on a different point. So if it's grinding all on the left or your right and not enough on my right, then I'm going to adjust this so that it moves it over and grinds more on the right. And we can do that by using the marker method to see what's going on. So now, because chisels are fairly tough, we don't want to be here all day. I'm going to try and roughen it up with the 80 grit diamond plate. Make sure it's nice and rough. Now, I've done this on the normal regular SG wheel, and it does take a long time. So hopefully this Blackstone is going to do a much quicker job. All right. So that's interesting. How are we going? Oh, You're going not too bad with the high favour on this side. Now, we don't want to go that much on there, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring you in much closer so you can really see how this works. Not too much. There you go. And I'll try and get you straight on the wheel, which I'm judging by the fact that I cannot see the side of the wheel. Right, and hopefully you'll be able to see the thing moving. So what we want is we want to move the angle so that it's grinding more on the right side. So we present the chisel more on a skew-if sort of thing. So we loosen both of these, and if you watch this, hang on. Okay, so you can see how it works now. It swivels on this pin, right? See that? And so you choose. So what we want is a little bit more to the right, and then we lock it in with this pin here. All right, and then we have a look. Now we need it to go more. Or it could also be that the chisel was ground high on that side. Now I can see we're definitely grinding more on that side, so we need to, yeah, you can see that we're grinding high on this side. And if we look at the square line, we can see that we're coming down too close there and not enough there. So we really need to turn this. See, make sure we can get a grind on this side. Okay, now we're starting to come up a little bit. I don't know if you can see that, hopefully you can. And you know what, I'm sorry, but I'm going to have to reface this wheel because I can see that it's got to lean over this way, which means we're always going to be grinding on that side. So I'm going to have to do that. You may as well hang around. All right, pop this in, lift this up. This is pretty important for chisels, so we may as well do it because we want to try and be as excellent as possible. Even though it's going to cost me money. This is why I charge a little bit extra for chisels, because I know that it's going to take millimeters off my wheel, plus it takes a fair, I mean, how many knives? I could have done multiple knives by now. All right, let's see how they'll go here. Contacting anywhere? Nope. We'll start again on this side because this is the low side. We'll try and do it in 2 passes. I know it's brutal, but you know. Okay, now that, let's see what you can see. Oh, that's good. So that is pretty rough, which is another method of roughening the wheel, by the way. You can take a very fast pass and you can see how rough that is. That's got bumps and grooves everywhere. So, but we don't need it to be that rough, because as you can see, it's pretty sharp, even down at this level, right? Down at the smooth level. So I'm going to lower it again, just a little bit, and take one final pass, and this one will be slow. So bear with me. Okay. The reason I wanted to do that in normal speed was so you could see how fast I'm going across. If I do time lapse, you don't get a feeling for how fast I'm going across. Now that still feels fairly rough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to at least hit it with the 80. That's it, we're done with this. Hit it with the 80 and see if we can smooth some of these grooves out. Feels fairly rough. I think we'll leave it on the 80. Now 80 is times 3 is about 250, so this is on about the 250 grit. Times 3 is the calculation that Dr. Vadim Khrushchev calculated according to the feel. He says, well, that feels like about a 220, and that feels actually quite smooth now. So, but I've got really sharp corners. They're so sharp I could probably cut myself if I did that. So I'm going to use, even though the back of this stone is the same material as this, oh, I keep getting it wrong. Silicon carbide, it still has an effect. Just to take those edges off. And of course the diamond wheel will definitely take those edges off, but it ruins the wheel, so I want to make sure that I don't ruin the plate. They're pretty inexpensive, 15 bucks each or something. Now, I have a supplier who can supply these to me in bulk, but, you know, to be honest, there's not much profit in it, and it's a hassle wrapping them up and taking them off to the post office and all the rest of it, but at least you'll be able to get the right plates, the ones that I use. So maybe as a service, I will do that anyway, because you guys deserve. Maybe for the members, introducing a membership shortly, so get ready for that, don't be shocked. The members will have discounts available, private videos, live sessions, all those extra bonus bits. So let me know if you're interested. I don't know how much to charge for the membership. It's not going to be super cheap. Now, I've got to change this water. As you can see, it's fairly murky. So I'll be back in a minute. Okay, I'm back. Clean water, straight wheel, we are set. This is going to proceed a bit more rapidly. Now, I don't know if you know, but if you're on your phone and you press this side of the screen with your thumb, it goes double speed. So for the boring bits, just hit double speed, zoom through, or search through the video, I don't care, whatever, you know. Now, we have to line this up again at 25 degrees. Oh, let's measure the wheel first. How much did we lose? So this was 339. So now it's 337. So we lost 2 mil there. And 2 mil can be up to 14 or 15 knives, especially on this wheel. So, you know, it's a pretty expensive operation grading your wheel. So we drop this down a little bit more now. Make sure we're at 25. And yes, we have to drop that down a little bit. Okay. Now we're back in business. Let's see where we're grinding. Oh, you can see already that we're grinding on this tip. And you can see, I'm going to bring that out to you because this is pretty important. You can see now that we're instantly grinding on that tip, which is good because we need to come down there, see? So that's good. Hopefully it's not too far, because I may have adjusted this to a pretty radical angle. In fact, it looks, if you look down the side here, I don't know if you can see that, let's have a look. Move the camera just a little bit. You can see that I'm touching at the tip, but there's an air gap at the top, so that is definitely over like that. I don't like that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start fresh with takes a little bit to get the hang of it, but right, see? Okay, so let me just check the camera because I don't want you to miss this. All right, good. So let's do an extreme demonstration. So as I'm turning this, all right, look at that. See? And then as I turn this knob down, it lifts it up. Turn this all the way up. And see how it's moving the chisel away? So that's, you can also see it on the wheel. See that? How it's moving it around? So what we want is we want it to get, and you can put it up against the side of the wheel and then just lock these in carefully. So let me just show you what's happening on this, on these screws. All right, see there, they lock in. So you undo one, and then you move this one to move the thing, and then lock it back down again. Or if you're coming up on this side, then you unlock that one and adjust on this one. Right. Took me a while to get the hang of that, and nobody really explains it. I mean, it could be somewhere, but not to this detail anyway. So we get it sort of square with the wheel. That's a good place to start, is square with the side of the wheel. And then lock it all in place, make sure it's all locked, everything's all tight, and just see where we are. And you know what? Just to be sure, we'll give it the Irish, and let's regrind, let's remark this and see where we're at. It's not important that you see my head. It's important that we see this operation. Let me move the camera a little bit. And for the sake of editing, please don't make me edit everything. It takes, you know, 100 times longer if I'm going to stop and edit everything. So we'll just do this in one take like it's a live session. All right, now let's have a look. Now what we want is we want to favour the right hand side because we're a bit high on this side. And we are perfect. Can you see that? Look, that's where we want to be. We want to start taking this side down, then eventually we'll get to there. So let's have a look. I really enjoy this stuff. I hope you do too. All right, let's go. And move it along so that you can evenly grind the wheel. Geez, it took us about 30 minutes to get to the grinding part, but all that stuff is really important. Let's have a look. Nice. So you can see here how that has got a definite bias to that side, which is what we want, because see, we're a bit high here, a little bit low there. It's probably a little bit too radical because it's starting to come down. But we'll see in a minute what it's like. And we can always draw another fresh line if we get to the line and it's still crooked. What I like about the Blackstone is it's designed for this exactly, because chisels are made of high-speed steel, are they not? Oh, make sure that you're in zoomed. Yes, we are. And if it starts to get too smooth, you can always hit it with another 80 and roughen it up in the middle of the procedure, no problem. And you've got to check it every few moments. Make sure that everything's going nice. Beautiful. And I like the way that it's coming on the line. Now it looks much more even. And the good news is that this setting will probably be good for all of them. Or, you know, there's a good chance, because this is now set to be straight and perpendicular to the jig and up against the stop. It should all remain square from now on. And we should zoom through them. but I'm going to do them all for you at real life speed. So, because some of you are starting sharpening businesses, and I want you to know what's involved, especially when you're quoting. You know, you don't want to be too cheap. You want to be affordable, but you don't want to be too cheap and then find yourself in contempt of the client. You don't want to feel bad for doing the job. Feel like you're getting ripped off. Not that you are, but you know what I mean? You don't want to be dreading having to go out there and waste your time to make, 3 cents. That's getting towards the edge and looking nice and square on that line. And remember, we don't have to go, I'll show you. Okay, so here's where we're at. Nice. And we don't have to go all the way down. Where are we? Hang on. We don't have to go all the way down to the line. We just have to watch it and make sure we're parallel with the line, right? And once we're parallel with the line, all we really need is to get a nice face on here and get rid of, I suppose most of that blackness, but it's not super essential. What you want mostly is to make sure you're grinding from all the way across the tip. Nearly there. Feels pretty smooth. I'll roughen it up a bit. More noise, that's good. We want noise. So you can hear when it's gone smooth. Yep. Now, as you get closer to that line, the scribed line, you can see whether you're actually still square. Because it may have looked square when it's a fair distance away, but as you get closer you can see that it's actually, in fact, let me show you, because I think we might be leaning a little bit towards the offside again. Smidge. Not too bad, not too bad. And that's looking good except for a little bit of black there, but that doesn't matter because that depends on how the chisel was originally ground. All right. And really all that matters is that top edge. Doesn't matter what happens back here. So what we want is a little bit more bias towards this side. So let's presume that we're going to adjust that, which we may as well. We colour it in again so we know that we're doing the right job. And then there's my lid. And then we move these knobs. Are you in close? Let's have a look. Oops. I need camera staff. I need production staff. So the more you view, the more money they're going to give me, the more chance we got of getting some crew in here or getting some GoPros so that I can really come in close. That's where the channel's heading. So I'm going to loosen this lock nut and then just ever so slightly move it over to this side and then lock it in, and then we'll see. What we want to see is a bias on this side, and did we get it? We certainly did. Well, that didn't colour in beautifully, but you can see that we're definitely grinding over here. And that's what we want. Now this might be geeking out just a little bit too much. I say, mate, just freehand it. What are you bothering with all that stuff for? Because I want to do the best job possible. I've got the tools. I want this to be the best job that I can possibly do for the guy. Alright. Let me show you again. We are now definitely biased to that side. Right. And let's just check on the scribe line. Looks nice and even now. Beautiful. So this should finish it off. As soon as we're all the way across, this chisel's done. And you could always lift up here and really get in there, but you know, you shouldn't have to push too much. I'm pushing down with my fingers here, and that's I think that's enough. We don't want to stress anything out. And always check often, see where you're going. Check the back line. And now, you know what, I think we've gone a bit too far. I mean, not my much, but just like a little tenth. So I'm going to try and, there you go. Just lock that in there. Let's have a look. Oh, so good. Let's have a look. See, now we're all the way across. All right, don't worry about that, that'll come in a minute. Let's check the back line. See, that looks great now. Great. And it may not be entirely completely square on the square, but you know, how much do you really want to fuss over it? Oh, that looks beautiful. Beautiful. Now, to be sure that I'm getting the whole lot, because one shine looks like the other, you know, I want to make sure give it another colour in. And you can see that we're still quite biased towards this side here. Which I'm just looking at this scribe line. We kind of want to be a little bit anyway. Nice. You don't have to move it that fast. You can move it, slow it down a bit like I am now. We're on the edge. By that I mean we're near this right hand edge of the chisel. What you don't want to do is remove the chisel to have a look at it. So take the whole jig out so you don't upset the setup. Nice, and really coming up against that scribe line now. I want to make sure that the camera is zoomed in enough. Yes, it is. Oh, that's pretty beautiful. That's pretty beautiful. This feels like such a Sunday thing to be doing. How we're going on that line, the scribe line, beautifully. Sorry about banging my microphone. Never been accused of being elegant or professional. I'm just here. Hopefully that's getting pretty close to being done. Yep. Let's do a progress check. So how's that black back? Oops. Zoom out, get the macro. Right, that looks pretty even. And look at that face. That's beautiful. Alright. Doesn't have to be mirror shiny. That feels so sharp. And I've got a nice burr on the back as well. You want to make sure you got the burr, because everybody knows that the burr is the word. Right, now that's nice. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use my wood trick. Right, smooth the wheel off a bit. See if we can get it looking a little bit purtier. Definitely feels smoother. I reckon that's it. Yep. I'm happy with that. Let's just have a look. You happy with that? Looks good. Is it square? It is indeed square. Well, you know, hopefully. Do we have burrage? We got burrage. Let's hone. Now, with honing, before we go there, pull it out of the jig. Hang on, come back. Pull it out of the jig. It's always a nervous moment because there's no going back now. And we check for square. Oh, magnificent. We'll do it against the light. You tell me, is this square enough? Hang on, I don't want to fake it. I want it to sit on the edge. Little bit out of square. Hang on, can you see it? Hang on, let me just make sure. Oh no, that's pretty flat. A little tiny bit on the tip there. Tiny bit. But not bad. That looked much squarer when I was looking at it. Yeah, it's a tiny bit off, but good enough. Can you hear that aeroplane? Now tell me, is it just me, or is the sound of a distant small aeroplane one of the most pleasing sounds for an afternoon work? I just love the peace of a Saturday or a Sunday afternoon and the sound of a little plane in the background, or a maybe a lawnmower. Don't know. So now, clean it up a bit. And we hone. So how do we hone a chisel? Well, we hone with one aim, and that's only one aim, and that is not to shine the blade, but to remove the burr. And what do we know about knife removing? When we remove burrs off a knife, we don't do it much. So the burr is on the back, so we start on the front and just give it a little run. That's all. Just a little run. And then on the back, and I use my fingernail to see if there's any burr left. A little bit burr left. And then on the back. And some people, when they sharpen chisels, put a little micro bevel, right, at a steeper angle. But this kind of does that anyway, but just on a very microscopic level. Just a little bit more on the right. And I don't know if you can see that. Just let me check. Let me see if I can show you that. See it there shining? There it is. Just right on the tip. That shine is that little micro bevel. So let's just bring it over to the kangaroo tail. Love my mess. Stop telling me to clean up. And just pull it back a couple of times. Doesn't need much. Okay. Let's see if it cuts paper. Beautiful. That's how you sharpen a chisel. I'm going to do all the rest. Hang around. So, that's one. Now I'm going to do it all again. 6 more times. But now we're going to see how fast can I do it. All right? How fast can I do it? Without all the explanations and everything. Let's put the spinner on. That's 25. Oh, I still use the marker. Oh, it got wet. It's dead. Here we go. No. Let's try the... Come on, man. This one had a lot of junk on the face, but we'll know soon enough. Oh, roughing it up. Oh, this is interesting. Looks pretty straight. Okay, that's good. Let's bring you across here so you're straight on again. I've got my famous wallpaper. Don't care. Right. Chili's out lying in the sun. It seems to be biasing a little bit towards this side, so I just want to adjust this a little bit, swing it over to the right. This is why it's so important to have that square line on the back. Now, if it goes too slow, you might be tempted to just heave up on here. Don't do that, because it may affect it. Oh, no, I just got gripped by the wheel. It may lift the bar up. You don't want to do that. You just want to take your time, let the abrasion do the work. Mr. Chili, welcome back, mate. You all right? How's the sun? Good? Lie down. So this may become the most comprehensive Tormek chisel sharpening video to ever exist. Hopefully. Because these videos are going to live on way after I'm gone, providing I can keep my political mouth shut. And they may help people for generations, hopefully, who knows. I should put one of you in my will. In case one die I day. Sure that'll happen, never happen. Chili and I are going to die in the same meteor strike, so that nobody has to suffer. So you can see that if you want to charge the same for a chisel as you do for a knife, you may be doing yourself in. I know that these chisels you can buy cheapies for, you know, 38 cents at the local Home Depot or the Bunnings or wherever you go, but why would you? So when I'm doing chisels, I know that I'm not going to make as much as I am knives, but there's still an income, and as long as I'm not flat out and I've got nothing else to do all day, I do have some knives to do today, but as long as I can fit it in and it's not encroaching on my other income, it's just added income. What? No difference. Well, we're getting there. Now, just show you something. Right, so we're progressing along nicely. Right, and does it really matter that we go all the way down? I mean, that could have been hacked out, and you don't want to be chasing a hack all the way down the bottom of the line, you know what I mean? So we're starting to touch a little, are we? Not sure if that's me or someone else. Was that? No, that's actually the previous grind. So does it matter whether the bevel is full all the way down? Only matters that the edge is there. Right, how are we going for square? Pretty good. Feels sharp, got a burr. Be careful when you're putting this on. Probably should put it on before you start the machine. I'll check my camera. Oh yeah, bring you in. There you go. Now we're climbing down. I'll give it a bit more. So if you really want to get hack into a chisel, you could always run this thing here. Keep forgetting its name. The truing and dressing tool, and run it really fast. Right, really fast, and you'll make tracks as you go along, and that'll dig in. But if you do that for every time you want to do a chisel, then you're going to wear the wheel down. It's going to cost you a lot of money. You don't really want to do that. So a bit of extra time, and just do it on this fine setting. Try and keep it rough. If you've got one of these diamond plates, use the 80. If you don't, well, sucks to be you, I suppose. Fix it. Get one. You can get cheap diamond plates from Bunnings or Home Depot or wherever you are, but they're the ones with the oval, the diamonds are up in raised pads. They don't last long. And I don't know what else we could use to roughen up the wheel. You could try the side of this. But like I said, silicon carbide is the same material used, and so if you use this on there, it'll just glaze over. They have no effect on each other. Alright, now at this point I'm going to have to consider whether or not I want to chase that all the way down, and I'll show you why. Right, do we want to chase this all the way down? Because if you look at it, that's been sort of hacked with a grinder or something, and you know, by the time I take all this metal off to come in across to get that down, I don't know whether that's going to be worth it. So I'm going to do a little bit more, a few more minutes, and then I think I'm going to call it, because that looks obviously like it was done sort of pretty quickly. And the owner of this chisel, if he's watching this, he may be able to shed some light on that later on. But we'll give it a little bit more, because it'd be nice to give them with fresh bevels. Try and keep it rough. I'll give it 10 more strokes. And one for the road. I think I'm going to call it there. Got leaf blowers going on outside. Luckily these microphones, which are a Boya, B-O-Y-A, Boya mics, they're pretty sensitive to my voice and not much going on outside. So what do you reckon? Should we call it there? Oh, I didn't have you zoomed in, sorry about that. Should we call it there? Is that good enough? That'll do the job, won't it? I think that was too hacked down below there. I can feel it, there's a real gouge in there. But I think that'll do the job. We've definitely got a burr. Are we straight? We're straight enough. Let's give it a hone and see what she says. I'm calling it. Oh, before I do that, let's see if we can shine it up a little bit with some wood. Wooden dowel, just a piece of wood. It relaxes and lays the grains down again. I know it sounds weird. Somebody in the comments made gave me an explanation about why this works. Apparently this is a common thing to do in other fields. It definitely sounds smoother. I don't know. It definitely sounds smoother. Good enough. So that's us. Oh, did you see? Oh, I was in the corner. Sorry about that. That's all right. All right. So let's give it a hone. Country road, take me home. A little bit more. Find the flat. All right, feels pretty sharp to me. What's Google doing up? Let's see if it cuts. Perfect. That's number 2. Number 3. This one's pretty sort of not bad already, so hopefully this will be quicker. So we pop it in and hang the jig so it's up on the shoulder. You want to make sure that it's up against that shoulder. All right. Now, why do I have to adjust the angle every time? Because this sticks out a different length every time. Oh, that's weird. Wow, okay, that was overground. It was too obtuse. Right, so I'm hitting on the heel there, even though it's at 25. So that has to be taken all the way down. And you can see that. There. Right. But 25 is what it should be. Geez, I hope though. I hope that's what it should be. But again, it looks like a fairly central grind. Oh, coming up nicely. And I didn't roughen the wheel again, did I? This is still on the wood. I think another aspect is that when it's grinding just an edge, can you see me? Where are we? Okay, let's move this a little bit into the middle. When we're grinding just an edge or a tip, then it grinds faster. When you have to grind a whole thing, imagine a knife with a bevel that big. There's a lot of grinding going on, even though you're not progressing very much. Don't know if that makes sense. It's easier to grind just an edge than it is to grind a whole facet, especially a big fat one like these chisels. Okay, progressing nicely. See that? Hopefully you can. And it'll the progress will slow down as it starts to do the whole facet. And this, I suppose, on the Tormek is where you might see a little bit of concavity on the bevel. I don't think that's a problem with chisels. It may even be preferred. And we're getting there. Let's roughen it up a bit now. Leaf blowers, eh? They're a scourge. I wonder. I'm both grinding and conditioning the wheel at the same time. That's unique. But you've never seen that before. Gee, how many leaves are there, I wonder? Okay, we're getting there. You know what we need? Chili brake. He's coiled up and sleeping like a champ. Oh, you pretty comfortable there, mate? Yep. Blink once for yes. Boy, this is going to be a pretty long video. Anybody who watches the whole thing is a genuine superstar. Oh, nearly there. You know, I'm not noticing any extra noise, so I don't think there's any benefit in pushing up at the back. How are we going on squareness? Pretty good. The smaller ones are quicker, so we'll get to the pudding in a minute. See, there must be 1 trillion leaves out there. Ooh, nearly there. Starting to grind my gears now. Come on, man. I'm sure he's just trying to annoy people now. I'm chasing one blade of grass. Show you how close we are. Okay, nearly there. In fact, I think we're running a little bit biased to the right, so I might just give that a bit of a twist. Yep. When a leaf blower stops, isn't that one of the best sounds in the world? Nearly there, no burr yet. Sometimes the water lubricates the burr, makes it difficult to detect. Yep, I think I've got a burr now. That looks fantastic. That's it. We're done. Oh, or are we? Too late now. I can just see a little... Oh. See that little silver? I think I missed that bit there. And is that a little divot right there? Maybe, yeah. I don't think we're quite there. This side's good. This side's not. Shit. Oh well, we have to go back in. And the way we go back in is we use the marker method to make sure that we're bang on the same bevel again. So again, hang the jig so that it's up on the shoulder. Make a mark. Oh, did I go the wrong way? I did. I went the wrong way. Big trap for young players. I've come too far. I'll show you what I mean. Now regrinding the whole bloody thing from the top. Oh well, fast forward if you have to. Set it up on double speed. How far am I off on the angle? Yeah, fair off. I have to do this one again. That happens. That happens. That happens. Never say die, it's just grinding. Customer deserves the best, especially around here. Yep. I could have given it a little secondary bevel, but that's not the correct way. In the field it might be, but when people are paying for a professional sharpen, you may as well give them a professional sharpen. Oh, it's travelling quite fast. About 5/8 the way there. Roughen up. Another 2 mil to go. For those of you who are starting a business, it's probably good that you see this in full time, in real time, so that you know what's involved, so you don't trick yourselves into thinking that you could just quickly do a chisel and charge a minimum amount just to get the business. You don't want to be that guy. Or girl. A couple of ladies watching. G'day. Don't know whether they'll be watching this far into the video, unless you've skipped ahead and just happened to come here. I can see we've got about an hour and a half on the 4K video. I hope I've got enough memory on the phone. We'll soon find out when it cuts out. And I always record in 4K, so then I can zoom in if I have to, and I publish at 1080p. Keep going. This was entirely unnecessary. I don't know what's happening here. How could I have avoided this? Probably by matching the angle a little bit better with more care. Well, watch me work is actually watch me work. It's not watch the highlights of my day. This is I'm actually working here. This is what I have to go through. Warts, fuck ups and all. And for those of you who are offended at my desktop wallpaper behind me, be offended. I am who I am. And that's the end of that. Nice. So hopefully some of you are just playing this in the background. Better than television. The problem with doing that is you get to watch the whole of the advertising. You don't really have to do that. If it's not really for you, you're not interested in the thing they're advertising, just skip the ad. I still hear the ka-ching. Come on, baby. Oh, we're nearly there. A lot of fun, isn't it? Maybe you're being mesmerized by the water doing the dance. See, a little bit down this side, and a little bit down this side. It has its own little personality, isn't it? It's like the blob. See, now it's gone a bit quiet, so I think it needs more roughing up. And this is the importance of the marker. Without the marker, I wouldn't know that I'm not there yet. Did you guys see that comment where somebody said, mate, you need to get your teeth fixed. You're uglier than a box of bolts. That's not what he said, but something like that. And the problem with being attractive is the paparazzi, you know what I mean? I've just got sick of them. So I thought, how can I make myself less attractive? I know. I'll fall off my bike and grind my face into the ground, and that'll muck up my teeth. That'll learn them. True story. Oh, are we there? Starting to get a burr. Oh, we're nearly there. The strive for perfection, eh? Nice. Did you know that this finger is more sensitive than these two? So when you're checking for a burr, use the ring finger. Just give it 10 more. The good thing about grinding is that you know you're going to get there in the end. You'll always get there in the end. Sort of like when you're undoing a bolt and you can't get a full swing. So you have to turn the spanner around and give it a little bit more, and then turn the spanner around, give it a little bit more, turn the spanner around, give it a little bit more. Doesn't matter. As long as you're making progress, you're gold. Okay, that's it. That's it. That's it. That's it. Can't believe you're still watching. You're a true star. Okay. Now we've gone beyond the line of squareness, so hopefully this will be square enough, because I'm not doing it again. Oh, pretty bloody. Looks pretty nice too. So this is the result, you know what I mean? How good is that? How good is that? Beautiful. All right, on to the hone. That's a little bit more on the right. Is that little micro burr again? See it shining on the top? Give it a little bit of, oh, chili is back. All right. Beautiful. Number 3. Now, what's this one going to... Oh, this one's the mangled one. Oh, Lord. We're not going to have to go all the way down. We've just got to clear that low spot there. Now, make sure I put it the right way. Beautiful. And we mark it. What's up, Chili? That's just the neighbours talking, mate. That marker is dead. What I might do is hang it up so we can get some of that ink to dry down. Put it in the thing there. All right, straight into it. Let's see what we got. Oh, already, look, that didn't take long. Already cruise them along. Hopefully one of these will be done real quick. I'm not going to do much editing on this because it'll take me all day and I've got other work to do. But I do want to get this video up today this afternoon so that I can get some joy from your reactions while I'm working on the other knives and re-recording. And of course, because my phone's only a 256 gig, because the 1 terabytes were just really expensive, I have to delete videos as I record them. I transfer over to my other phone, which is a 1 terabyte, and then I upload them from there at on 5G. I know, telephone, eh? Everything that you see on my channel so far has been recorded, edited and uploaded via my telephone. Not bad, eh? I use iMovie to edit, which is a free program that comes with your phone. Well, it doesn't come with the phone. You've got to download it, but it's free from Apple. It's very simple. All I do is cut and zoom, add a bit of music if I have to. Very basic stuff. Editors and cameramen, so expensive. Because they should be, I suppose. Okay, well that's repairing nicely. That is repairing nicely. And because I'm starting from the top, I've already got a burr. So now all I'm doing is just finishing the grind. What number is this? This is number 4. So you know who you are, requested a chisel video. You certainly got one, didn't you? You've been wanting one for years. Since the last previous channel, I think. Yeah, I had a channel before this. I don't know if you know, probably don't if you're new to the channel. But I was a victim of the cancel culture. I said something wrong one day, politically, and people on the other side got really upset and they decided to bomb the channel with complaints. And not only they took out this channel, but they took out Chili's channel too. And all the channels associated with my profile. Which I think was a rotten thing to do. Luckily those days are behind us. This one's nearly finished. How about that? Now I'm starting to watch that water dance now. That's cool. Looks pretty square. Looks pretty done. Do we dare call it finished already? That's incredible. Okay, I've got a little bit more to go at the bottom, but do I really... Oh, hang on. I've also got some chipping on the right. I'll show you. Spoke too soon. Alright, see that edge is not developed, and edges are very important to carpenters, right? Carpenters among you can tell me. So yeah, got to keep going. I've seen on site, when you've got a blunt chisel, you turn your belt sander upside down, you touch it, done, back to work. Still there, that's so weird. Why is it still there? Well, if it's still there, it means more grinding. Thought we had a quick one there, fellas. Trying to think of a story to tell you. I've got lots of stories. Not all of them are appropriate for this channel. Did you know that I had a near-wealth experience? Some of you do. Oh, it's nearly there. Nearly there. And you know what? I think we've got a little bit of a lean, which means that the edge, the corner that I want to be gone, is a little bit on the, oh, I don't know, is it? No, it's not, it's on the other side. Oh well. Shows how little is coming off, really. Could do with a rougher wheel. Suppose this is where the CBNs come in handy. We could have an 80 grit and just rough it up. And then you could use the new Fandangle angle dangle to take it to the new wheel. So yeah, I suppose in that case CBNs might be worthwhile. But I've got what I got. And it's just taking me longer. I'd still charge the same. So how much am I charging? In US dollars, probably about 15 bucks. I think that's got it. Have a look. Close enough anyway. All right, over to the home. Sorry, stepped on your toe. A little bit more. Beautiful. Little silver edge. See that? Nice. Left you behind. Okay. reason I zoom out is because the 05 or the zoom out, the wide angle is where the macro is, because look how close I can bring you in. See, nobody else brings you in this close, do they? Nice. Let's see if it cuts. Beautiful. Number 4, we're over the hill, 3 to go. Oh, okay, this one's the beauty. Look at this poor little bastard. This one has been through the wars, so it's going to need a full reprofile. Let's see how we go. Hang it. Lovely. Let's see. Where it's going to grind. Now these are getting smaller and smaller as we go along, so hopefully it won't take very long. So that's what's happening here. But you notice how I don't have to touch these knobs once I've set them, and the fact that the wheel is full flat, that's helping a lot. Now this water looks murky, but it's not that murky. It's the colour of the grain that comes off here makes it dirtier than it looks. If this was an SG wheel, this would still be crystal clear water. Piss off, Louis. Oh, coming along nicely. I'll show you what I'm, while you're here hanging around like a champion, I may as well include you in everything, and this is what I mean by coming along nicely. See? It's got that full top, so that's got a burr there. Yep, already got a burr, so we're just finishing the bevel. So technically, I suppose I could stop there. If this was my chisel, I'd stop there. And so that's good enough. As long as I've got a new edge, I don't care what happens behind. But these angles are important for some reason, I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully the boys will appreciate it, because I know they're not going to watch this whole movie. There's probably only 3 of you watching, or maybe even just you. You should win a prize if you're still watching this. Nice. So as I'm doing this video, I'm expecting 70,000 subscribers to tick over. How incredible is that? 70,000 people chose to subscribe to this channel. That's think about that for a minute. That's a lot. I mean, it's not the millions, and that doesn't matter. But well, it does matter a little bit later on. But for now, I mean, I can't believe there's that many people out there who are interested in Tormek knife sharpening. It can't be that many. There must be all of you. How many Tormek machines have been sold? Is it 70,000? I doubt it. I could have made this about one chisel, make it a very short video, but you know, this is a watch me video, and all the different chisels that I'm doing and all the different conditions, they're all helping you understand all the different things that could happen in your chisel sharpening journey. Right? It could be crooked, or it could be chipped, or there might be a little edge left over. Everything that I'm doing here should benefit someone at some point. And what I know for sure 100% is I wish that I had this video to watch when I was starting. That's kind of one of the main motivations behind this channel, is to make videos that I wish that I had when I was starting to watch, to show me exactly how to do everything, instead of me having to try and figure it all out myself. And Tormek still hasn't reached out to me. Maybe it might take 10,000 videos before they reach out. I want them to give me a free Tormek T8 to give out to you guys in a competition. Wouldn't that be cool? Bet that'll get some attention. Of course, that'll be for members only. Maybe not, of course. Maybe people who just buy my merch. This is a brand new t-shirt. I get them printed at Vistaprint. But if I was to get them printed at Vistaprint and then have to store them here, how do I know what size you want? And it takes ages and ages, so I may as well just use a fulfillment service. And then you can order straight from the website that I'm going to put up shortly, hopefully. I purchased the domain isharpen.shop. But I also have isharpen.com.au. Hey you! What? Come here. No, not you, Chili. That we could maybe use for a shop, but I use that for all my emails, so I'm not sure I want to transfer it all over to Shopify. And I don't know if you guys have ever had a Shopify experience. It's pretty horrendous. The moment you put up your shop, you are inundated with third world spam. Oh, we are specialists. We help you. Yeah, maybe. Maybe not. Now, here's a decision. This is obviously finished at the top. Right, we've got a burr. We're gold. Do I finish it all the way down to the bottom? Is that really important? And what if this was rolled over like the other one? You know what I mean? Then it's going to take me forever to get down to the bottom. So you know what? I'm going to call it. I'm going to call it right there. That's good enough. This back bit doesn't really matter, does it? Does it? Let me know if I'm being a hack. But I'm calling it. And not because this video is going for a long time. It's just that, you know, what if that has been rolled right over? What am I going to chase it? What for? Oops, where are you? I'm talking to the back of your ear. Gee, I wonder how much my head's been chopped off. So, what if it has been rolled right over? I'm going to chase it all the way to the bottom. What for? No point. I'll give it a little bit more, but not much more. Not much more. If these were brand new chisels and I was sharpening or just slightly blunt and they had all their original bevel still on there, then I'm sure this wouldn't be a problem. I'd be at the bottom of the bevel by now. Now we're going for square. Oh, we're right on that line. I need a fantastic title for this video. Would I be too cheeky if I called it the most comprehensive Tormek chisel sharpening video ever? I don't think I would be. Oh, that's enough. Oh man. What? Look. I'm nearly at the bottom anyway. Oh, I'll give it a little bit more. Plus we need to adjust that camera. Give it a little bit more. The reason I'm using camera zoom instead of editing zoom is just to save me hours and hours of editing, zooming in on every little tiny piece that I want to zoom in on. So if I do all the zooming now while I'm recording, I might be able to just run it through quickly, chop out some chop out some bits that are unnecessary in the beginning of the movie and just start uploading. It's probably going to take about 15 years to upload, but we're there. Now that's good enough, I reckon. I don't know, do you reckon? Is this okay if I leave this last little bit? Who knows how it got there. What's most important is that we get a nice chisel point, which we have. Alright, that's it, I'm calling it. After this, 2 more. So I'm honing by finding the flat. So I start high on the heel, then I bring it up until I feel the flat, and then just stop there. A little bit more just to get that apex. And then I'll start on the flat, and you can hear it when it's on the edge. See that? It's on the flat, that's on the edge. And that's all. Beautiful. Check it out. Little micro bevel there right on the top. A little bit of shine right on the glistening at the top there. Good. Perfect. Perfect. All right. Let's get on to the skippy. Okay. Does it slice? Certainly does. Okay, second to last one. Oh, this is the really rounded one. You can see by the reflection. See? Very rounded, but you know, I'm sure it'll do the job. All right, let's come in closer. Looks a bit crooked. Sometimes the water droplet stops you from seeing the actual angle. Oh, there we go. That's us. Interesting to see how close they got while they were using the sander. This one's quite narrow, so it shouldn't take too long. Okay, coming off the bottom. I'll show you. Coming off the bottom. Now suppose if they wanted a touch up, could I not just give it a quick high angle regrind quickly for cheap, just to sort of give them a brand new edge? I could do that. Now, do we have to give it a brand new bevel every bloody time? Maybe that could be a way to adjust. So I could ask them, say, do you want a whole new bevel or do you just want a fresh tip? I'm sure most of them would say just a fresh tip. And that way I could maybe cut it, but then again I'd be cutting at a high angle, maybe, you know, higher than 25. So I don't know how ideal that is. Probably not very. Getting there. That's Oh, climbing up nicely. It shouldn't take too long. So what are you guys thinking of these watch me videos? Too long? Or do you like watching? You know, I don't know if I mentioned this before, probably have, but there's a new trend appearing on YouTube where people are sick and tired of the dancing, TikTok style AI rubbish, garbage, movie clips. They want real proper content of real people doing proper things. And they'll watch, for example, geez, I wish I could remember his name, but the guy from England who used to be a skateboarder, and he fixes cars now with his dad. You know who I mean. Right? I could watch his videos go for an hour. They've got fantastic editing. They're some of them have taken weeks and weeks to film. You know, they've got to wait for parts, and then all of a sudden in the next cut the parts arrived, and they're creating, you know, out of smashed Lamborghinis and smashed, drowned, flooded Rolls Royces, and you know, all sorts of things. And that's just pretty fascinating. And I put it on the big screen, the 65-inch 4K TV, and I watch them on there. Much better than, and I've got premium as well, so I've got no ads to watch. By the way, if you're on premium, I'm making money from you as well. Just from your, they give me some of your premium dollars. So how good's that? Oh, we're nearly there. Oh, well, that didn't take long. That's good. And now we're eating pudding now, aren't we? No burr yet, but we're nearly there. Do I have a burr? Oh, nearly. I can still see some shining on the top here. I'll show you what I mean. See if we can capture this. See that shine? That is not an edge. Starting to get an edge here. I can feel a little bit of burr there, but not a pronounced burr. So we're nearly there. Oh, let's bring you back in. Because as handsome as I am, I don't think you need to be seeing my face. You want to see this. And this had to be done today because he needs them for Monday for work. Today's Sunday. And we're working on a Sunday. I sharpen 7 days a week. It's my home. I work from home. I'm a freeman. I can do what I want. I love playing out here in the workshop. Maybe I should play with my vacuum cleaner a bit more. No. Because the place is spotless every time I come in. How am I going to know that I even exist? I mean, you know what I mean? Ooh, I've got a burr now. Oh, that looks nice. Keep going. One more run. And then we're on the last chisel. So this is obviously not a movie you would want to be watching on your cell phone or your mobile phone. Hopefully you're all watching this on the big screen, relaxing, kicking back, just enjoying the show. That's it. Definitely got a burr. Burr, burr, burr. Burr is the word. Because everybody knows that the burr is actually, yes, the word. That's the word. It's the burr. Oop, come across. Alright, so rock, find the flat, then lift it up just a little bit. Just ride that flat. Now ride the back, lift it up just a little bit. Bitey. Bitey, bitey. Are you chilly? How you going, mate? Chilly? Oh, I just want to relax. Love those ridges. Look at that ridge. See how the ridge on his back matches the ridge on the kangaroo tails? Ah, I do. Am I stropping enough? I hope so. So again, I'm finding the flat, and then just lifting it a little tiny bit. And there we are. Mag bloody nificent. All right. Let's see, does it slice? Now there's a bit of a trick to this. You've got to keep it on a certain angle. It doesn't slice like a knife, but it's good enough. It's also hard because it's very small. The big fat ones are much easier to do. Much easier. Alright, last one. Whew, are you exhausted? I'm not. I've got lots more to do. Now this is a little stumpy, this one, so hopefully we can get it. I've got to put it right up towards the back so that I can get enough stick out to do the job. Wow, that's really leaning over. Oh, we're nearly touching the back. So when they're this short, there's a danger that they can't, the back of the jig, here I'll show you. See, just clearing there. Well, not just, there's plenty of room, but that's the danger. So we need to make sure that that is long enough in order to do the job. Get some marker action. Alright, let's go. Roughen it up. Last one. Where are we? Oh, not too bad. Starting from the back. I'll show you. It would be good to get this kind of accuracy on something a little bit coarser so that I could quickly do it and then come and finish it on the Tormek. So I'm thinking of that sanding belt over there, but what if the angle doesn't match? I suppose that's why we need coarse CBN wheels, eh? 80 grit. That'll make short work of this. Well, as soon as somebody wants to give me a whole set of CBNs, I'll test them for sure. I did have one CBN company approach me, but they only wanted to send me one wheel, which, you know, I mean, got to be grateful for that. But one wheel doesn't give me the story. I don't need one wheel. I need a system so that I can finish on the CBN, start and finish. So I needed at least 2 wheels, a coarse and a fine, or a medium and a fine. One day. Maybe if YouTube pays me enough. The fact that you're watching this movie is helping me raise money to buy more stuff. Now imagine if this channel really takes off, then we're going to have all the toys. I'm going to fill this whole workshop up with cameras and toys and all the sanders and all the buffs and all the everything, and I can learn how to use them. Oh, 1 mil to go. So I've just thought of what the thumbnail is going to be. I'm going to be holding all the chisels up with a big smile in my hand, and across there is going to be yellow writing. It says marathon, so that people know what they're getting into. Although looking at the timeline, it's going to be well over 2-hour video. People are going to know. They're either going to groan or they're going to get excited. You may need a beverage. But if you started on this movie with beverages, you'd be probably paro by now. If anyone is even still watching. If you watch this whole video, leave a comment and say, yes, I watched the whole video. I wonder if anybody will. Without interruptions, without skipping ahead. Let's see who does that. Because it's not like a challenge I said at the beginning of the video. You only heard this right here at the end of the video. I should put in a special code word to win a prize. Oh, still more to go. I'll show you where we're up to. Oh, nearly there. And now I'm exerting a bit of pressure up here to push it into the wheel to see if we can finish it off quicker. I don't want to damage the wheel, but I don't think I will. And pressure plus friction equals results. Certainly does in the social sciences. Doesn't it? Nearly there. I can still see some shining right on the very top. Okay, well my battery finally died, but I only did a little tiny bit more grinding and this is all ready now. You can see that that looks fantastic. Got a burr on the back. That's the end of that. Perfect. I think that's done. It's a loud noise, mate. What are you doing? So, here we are, finished. Let's just check it one more time. Well, not one more time, but let's see if it's sharp. You got to get the angle right. Perfect. Perfect. There they all are. 7 chisels, all done on the 7th day. Thank you for watching. You are a genuine star. Please leave a comment. Let me know where you're from, how much of the video you watched, and whether you enjoyed it or not. Do you like these long videos? I hope you do, because we're all done. Hope we catch some of that. reflection. Marathon video. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.